And we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to Fed Reacts, man. I know you guys can see a different setup here. This is, the new studio. It's about 80, 90% of the way complete. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the day in the life of being a federal agent, specifically with HSI. Let's get into it. A special agent with Homeland Security Investigations, okay, guys? HSI.
This is what Fed Reacts covers.
Defender Jeffrey Williams and Associate YSL did commit the felony. So here's what 6ix9ine actually got. This attack shifted the whole U.S. government. This guy got arrested, espionage, okay, trading secrets with the Russians. John Wayne Gacy, a.k.a. the Killer Clown, okay, one of the most prolific serial killers of all time, killed 33 people. Zodiac Killer is a pseudonym of an unidentified serial killer who operated in Northern California. All these serial killers, guys, they really get off on getting attention from the media. For many years, Jeffrey Epstein sexually exploited and abused dozens of minor girls at his home. It was OJ working together to get Nicole killed. We're going to go over his past, the gang ties, so that this all makes sense. Yeah, what's up, guys? Welcome to Fed Reacts. Let me know how the sound is, guys. I'm using a completely different and new setup right now. I'm in another room in another part of the studio where I've been building this place up. It's not 100% of the way done yet. It's, I would say 80 to 90%. I still got some panels that I got to put up on the ceiling. And I also still got I'm going to put a big Fed React sign right behind me. You guys can see here, I got the thin blue line flag. I got another American flag there. And I got some other things I'm going to be putting in the background, decorate this place a bit more. Then I got a part for Angie here, where she's going to be sitting next to me running in. She's also going to have a camera and everything else like that, which I got to set that up. But right now it's just a one-man show. Billz and Mo are actually here. They're in the studio, the main studio, and they're setting up an IRL backpack, okay? Because as you guys know, we're going to be doing an IRL stream for y'all today. We're going to be doing an IRL stream on the yacht for New Year's. So we definitely stay tuned for that. I think you guys are going to definitely enjoy that one. So you guys will be able to see kind of, the yacht lifestyle of Miami. Okay. I'll be honest with y'all. If I wasn't IRL streaming, I wouldn't be there. So, yeah, I would have just been staying at home. But since we're going to be streaming it, I'm like, all right, well, I'll show up. Everything is pretty much the same, guys. I'm running this show solo. We're giving you guys, a classic Fed Reacts type episode today. FNFSuperChat.com, guys. And also I'll be reading the chats. Because as you guys know, we can't, we're demonetized on YouTube, right? On all the channels, unfortunately. So I can't pull up the chats like I used to when I used StreamYard on YouTube, on StreamYard. So I'm using StreamYard right now. I'm not using StreamLabs. I'm going to use StreamLabs on my next show, but Billz has to set it up for me and everything else like that. And we didn't have time to set it up today because we got to get going here in about, this show's going to be a shorter show. It's going to be about an hour, hour and a half. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of, go through what it was like, how I got on the job, etc. I know you guys have been requesting this for a while. The last episode we did, we covered the Barbie killers with Angie. And then we didn't do a show last Sunday. I think I'm trying to remember why. It was, I think Billz and them were sick. Oh no, it was, oh yeah, because it was the holidays. We didn't do it because it was Christmas. That's why I didn't do a show last time. Yeah. Or it was Christmas Eve. But I couldn't go 2 weeks without doing a show for you guys. So we're going to definitely do a show, even though it's New Year's Eve. Excuse me. Even though it's New Year's Eve, we're going to do a show. And, like I said, you guys have been requesting me do something a little bit more personal about my background, my experience, one of my cases. So what I figured I'd do, I'll just kind of take you guys from the beginning, go back in time and talk about how I got the job, how I got involved with the job, what it was like every day, and go from there, man. What else? So yeah, FNFSuperChat.com, guys. If you guys want to go ahead and get your chats in, I'll read some of these Rumble rants that have come in. I can't put them on screen because I suck, guys, right now, but I can definitely read them and everything else like that. So what's up, Mo? Yes, oh, you can see. Okay, yeah. So Mo's monitoring the stream from the other side too. Thank you, Mo. So we'll have a little bit of help there as well. But we got here. Let's see. TJ Emerson 2004 goes, hey guys, please cover Madeleine McCann case. British case most famous. I think he's British Care most famous missing persons case ever. There is a Netflix doc you can use, and trust me, you'll love this case. Okay, Madeleine McCann. I think Angie has that written down, but yeah. Man down goes, please, please, please do the Ruby Ridge incident in Waco case. I did Waco already. So let me see here. I'm dusting off the cobwebs here, guys. So give me one sec. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys exactly where to find it, right? So if I did it on YouTube and on Rumble, Fed Reacts, right? Fed Reacts here, and then we put Waco. And let me share a screen with y'all real quick so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Bear with me, guys. Here, it's been a while since I've done this. By my solo dolo like this. We got Chrome tab. There we go. So right here, as you guys should be able to see it. This is the Waco Siege episode that I did. I think I had to do most of this on Rumble though, guys. Okay, so this is it right here. Okay. But let me go ahead and well, let me no. Okay, if I do that, it won't work. Hold on, let me.
Oh, because it's on you.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it on this. I'm just gonna do it on this screen. Hold on.
Because what you gonna do? Present.
Yeah,
Present.
I just gotta increase this. Okay, boom. So present, bam. So actually, you know what? Waco Fed Reacts. So I just have it up on screen.
Yeah.
There we go, bam. Okay, entire screen, boom. All right, so this is it here, guys. The Fed Reacts, the Waco Siege. It was 2.5 hours. Here it is. It's full. The full one is on Rumble. I had to put obviously a portion of it on YouTube, but the full thing is actually on Rumble. Because I think we got hit with a copyright or something like that is what it was. Rumble ads. But you guys get the idea. All right. What else here? Let's see here. And then we got here. Shout out to Mo in the back helping, like I said before. All right. And then I'll see here FNF Super Chat if you guys sent anything in here. Okay. Yeah, FNFSuperChat.com, guys. I don't know if it's working. Let me know if the link is working, guys. It should work. Mo, the link works, right? All right. All right, cool. Link to it says link to super chats doesn't work in chat. That's what they said.
It's the right one. I just clicked the one.
No, it says 404 now found when I click it.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I'll change the YouTube one.
You'll change the YouTube one? All right. He's gonna fix it right now, guys. Sorry about that. Maybe try FNF Super Chat. Superchat.com. All right. We'll give you guys a better link right now. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, Mo, when you do, just let me know. So anyway, okay. So let's start from the beginning, guys. We're gonna go back in time here. Okay, we're gonna go back to a different decade. Okay, so it's 2010. Okay, and well, actually, more along the lines of 2009, right? So 2009, and I am a sophomore at Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts, and I was a criminal justice major, and I was a walk on for the Northeastern men's rowing team. And I always knew I wanted to do federal law enforcement, whether it be the FBI or DEA, ATF. I knew I wanted to do something with the feds, and I remember my school, Northeastern, has a something called a co-op program, guys, which is actually why I think it's such a good school. Is it has something called the co-op program, which allows you to kind of work for. So you basically do a semester where you take classes, then you do another semester where you're in work, like you're working in your field, right? And Northeastern has some of the best job placement in the country. It was, and it's a 5-year school because of this co-op program. So after your sophomore year, right, once you get into what you call your middler year, your third year, you can start to do something called co-op, where you can, at least when I went to school there, you can start to go ahead and start working for 6 months or for a semester After you do your co-op, you go back to classes. Then after you do classes, then you go back on co-op again, and so on, right? You could do up to 2 to 3 co-ops. And this is really good for landing you a job, right? So think of it as like an internship program built into the actual curriculum at Northeastern University, right? So at the time, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Office of Investigations, aka what is now called Homeland Security Investigations, was seeking interns, right? They wanted, I think, 6 or 7 for the Washington, D.C. field office, and then 2 for the Boston field office, right? And I remember going and applying, right? And funny story. So I go and I apply, right? And I remember we have practice like Christmas break. Excuse me. Like right around Christmas break or early January when we get back to school, right? I think it was January we get back to school, right? Because you have Christmas break, and then we had to train during our Christmas break. They gave us a whole training program. Then we came back in January, because for rowing, guys, the winter is actually very important, where you build the endurance and the fitness for the spring season to race. If you don't train hard during the winter, you're not going to be able to race well in the spring, because when the spring hits, you're doing 2,000-meter races, etc. So we come back in January, and we did a training exercise where we hit a punching bag, okay, a heavy bag. And it's funny now that I've like trained boxing, how stupid I was for doing this. I hit the bag, and like my pinky like kind of slipped off, and I broke my hand, guys. Broke my right hand pinky, right? I broke it because it was like numb and it hurt for a couple of days. So I go to the freaking the hospital. I go to Boston General, right? And at the time, our school had a deal with the pediatric portion, right? So if you're an athlete and you had to go see a doctor, you would actually go to the pediatrician side to get any type of work done or whatever, right? Because I was an athlete, so I was covered. And they did an X-ray, and they found that my pinky was broken. I was like, oh my God. And they're like, you got to wear a cast for a month, for 6 weeks. And I was like, what? I got to practice. What are you talking about? And they're like, no, doctor's orders, you got to go ahead and you got to put your hand in a cast. Now, what makes this funny is, since it was a pediatric doctor, I got a cast, but the only thing that they kind of had was like a bunch of kid casts. So that like clouds and dinosaurs and like all this kid stuff, right? So I'm like, oh my God. So I was like, all right, screw it. Give me the dinosaurs. So I had a bunch of dinosaurs on my casts, right? Like a freaking kid. So I'm walking around at like 20 years old, right? Old as hell with a freaking dinosaur cast on, right? It gets better. So as you guys know, I had applied for the co-op with HSI, right? So I go to the job interview with a fucking dinosaur cast on. Yes, I shit you not. I went to the fucking job interview with a dinosaur cast on, guys. I wore a suit and had a dinosaur cast. So that definitely, rose some, arose some questions, right? So I'm sitting there in my interview, right? And I'll never forget, it was 2 special agents interviewing me. Well, it was one special agent, like a regular guy, right? Like what I would call like a GS-13, right? Which is like they carry cases and still, do that type of thing. Then it was a supervisor, which is a 14. And then I think it was an ASAC, okay, which is a 15, right? So think of it as agent, first line supervisor, then a second line supervisor, right? Or also known as supervisory special agent or assistant special agent in charge, right? That's what the acronym stand for. So they asked me about it, and I tell them, hey, I broke my hand. They asked me about, how I broke my hand. Hey, I play sports, etc. Blah blah blah. And then I was a rower, and then obviously, right? They looked at my resume. I spoke Arabic conversationally. Excuse me, guys. It's cold here in Miami. I speak Arabic conversationally, etc. So, I didn't think I got the job, guys, to be honest with y'all. Like, I was like, yeah, there's no way they're hiring me. Like, because at the time, the people that I interviewed, like that I competed with, I only had a 3.3 GPA at the time. And the kids that I competed with, a lot of them had 4s. A lot of them were really bright, really smart. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to get this. I showed up in a freaking dinosaur cast, etc. But then I get an email and they say, hey, you've been accepted. And it was like life-changing event, guys. Life-changing. I was like, holy crap. So I get the internship, right? And I start interning out of the Boston field office, right? So let's fast forward now to my middler year. This is now around 2010/11, because I did the interview in February of 2010, and then I started, actually, you know what? I did the interview February 10th. I got the job. I did all my paperwork, got my background check. I EOD'd on July 6th, 2010. Never forget that. July 6th, 2010 was my EOD with the United States government with Homeland Security Investigations, right? And I EOD'd as a intern, which I think was a job series like 1899 or some shit like that. Matter of fact, let me look it up. And let me see here. I think the link should be fixed, by the way, guys. fnfsuperchat.com if you guys want to go ahead. And I see Ralph here. $5. Thanks for your service. Myron, happy holidays. Okay, so the link should be working now, guys. fnfsuperchat.com. Yeah, right, Mo? That's the link? Okay. And it works. Okay. Sorry, guys. We had issues with this crap like before, so it was... It's pinned in the chat. All right. So yeah, y'all should be able to get in there. Click the link that's pinned in the chat, guys, and then you'll be able to super chat in. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, click the link in the chat and you'll be good. Pinned at the top. So so I get the job, right? And I start my first co-op portion in the summer, July 6, 2010. Right. And at the time I went to the Boston field office, and let's just go ahead. We'll go ahead and put a little bit more visuals to this story. Right. By the way, this is what it looks like, guys, when you come in. So, right, you go to the chat right here. You're watching the show. Click this link. Boom. It brings you right here. And then you can go ahead and get involved and donate, which I appreciate anything that you would donate. But anyway, let's go back here. So I interned right here, guys. This is where I started it all. Right? I go 10. See, I fucking remember the address. 10 Causeway Street, Boston, Massachusetts, right? This is the federal building, right? That I started everything, all right? And I remember I would take the train here. Oh my God, this has changed. Wow. Holy. Wow. Okay. Okay. So right here is like the train station used to be. What the hell is all this though? Did they knock down TD Garden? What the fuck? What is all this? Bruh. Yo, Mo. Okay. Never mind. So here's the North Station, right? There's a station here. I used to take the train in every day from the Orange. Yo, did they knock down TD Garden, bro?
TD Garden?
Yeah. In Boston? I know you still keep up with the NBA, but did the Celtics move?
No.
Okay. So they still play here.
It's still at the Garden.
Okay, they switched. Okay, yeah, okay. This is okay. So yo, they changed it. Wow. It didn't used to be this nice. They renovated that joint. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Either way, so yeah. So I used to take North Station, guys, from Northeastern. I used to take the T, right, which is called the train in Boston. And I'll take it. I'd get off, and then I walk through this little thing here. And I remember I would walk through. Since I was an employee, I would walk around the back. But the main entrance for regular people, right, for regular people coming in is right here, right? And ICE, I think, is on the like 7th floor. Okay, let me see here. Let's see if they're still there. HSI Boston. Oh yeah, 10 Causeway Street. Yep, still there. Okay, 722. So right. So I started here, right, at HSI Boston. And I did that first summer there, and I was in a national security group, guys. And in the national security group, what we went after primarily was visa overstays that had national security implications, right? Maybe they were from a weird country. Maybe we found out that they were tied to some people that we might not necessarily want them to be tied with, etc. So that was how I started. I was in a national security group, right? / visa compliance group. Because a lot of people come to the United States and overstay their visas, right? And then also we had a presence with the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force as well. A couple of our agents in this group were in the JTTF, right? So I did a couple of operations with the FBI as well when I that first summer that I was there. So I did my first internship, and then I came back later and I did another internship with the HIDTA group, which was the drug trafficking group, and then I did another internship with the human trafficking group, right? So I did 3 co-ops total while I was in Boston, with HSI Boston, and I was in college. And then after I graduated college, right? And remember, I'm doing these co-ops 6 months at a time. And the human trafficking group was the last group that I did my internship with. And I told you guys that story of how I was writing my final paper. And on April 15, 2013, which was pretty much when I was trying to submit my paper, what happened? We had the Boston Marathon bombing, right? And I talk about that in one of my other episodes if you guys want the detail. I was writing a paper, and yeah. So after I graduated college, guys, I went home back to Connecticut for 6 months, right? Pending an academy date. At the time, the government was shutting down all the time. This is now we're in 2013, right? Obama was still in office, I think. The government was always shutting down, so they didn't have an academy date because HSI had not hired for years at this point, right? So they're able to get together an academy date, and I went to the academy February 2014. But prior to that, because I graduated school in 2013, I spent 6 months at the New Haven field office, okay, as an intern there. And that's where I converted from intern to special agent. I became a special agent September 13th, 2013. So July 6th, 2010, I was an intern. Then September 13th, 2013, I officially became a special agent and converted to there, right? I was getting leap and all that crap, right? So I was working and everything else. I didn't have my gun yet because I was waiting for the academy. So fast forward to 2014 February, I go down to Brunswick, Georgia, okay? And your boy is here, okay? I went right here, FLETC, all right? Which is the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, okay? Hold on, we'll click some of these pictures, which is out there in the middle of nowhere in Brunswick. Oh, this is all new stuff right here. They didn't have this when I was there. Oh yeah, this is all new. Wow, they really upgraded the gym. Goddamn. Okay. Yeah, what the fuck is this? Whatever. Zahar Jalali. Yeah, probably that's not a real picture. But yeah, anyway, this is FLETC, guys, right? So every law enforcement agency except for DEA, FBI, and U.S. Postal Inspection Service goes through FLETC, and Border Patrol has their own academy in New Mexico, right? So everyone goes to FLETC to train, right? And whether it's for CBP, whether you're going to be a special agent, you're going to be a CBP officer, a Border Patrol agent, whatever it may be, you're going to go to FLETC to train, right? And it's located in Glencoe, Georgia. And then there's others one. So Artesia, New Mexico, that's where who the fuck goes? This is where Border Patrol goes. Shetland, Maryland, I think this is where the U.S. Postal Inspection Service goes. National Capital Region Training Operations, I don't know who goes there. But Glencoe is where everybody goes, man. Brunswick, Glencoe, Georgia, same thing. That's where everyone goes, right? For the feds. ATF, IRS, HSI, Secret Service, U.S. Marshal Service, they all go to Brunswick. So I'm there for 6 months, guys. So from February 2014 to August 2014, I was at FLETC. And let me tell y'all something, bro. That was one of the most miserable experiences of my life. It fucking sucked. It really sucked, man. And the reason why it sucked was because, it was kind of paramilitary. So you were waking up every day, you go to chow hall, you'd go to class, right? You'd learn about federal law, then you'd go shoot for like hours on end. Then you would do use of force, then you would do handcuffing, then you would do more law stuff, right? One would be maybe Fourth Amendment, another one would be criminal law, and then we did like a whole thing where you would do a mock case, teach you how to write reports. It was very extensive, very, very extensive. It's 6 months in there, and pretty much from 7 all the way till about 5 or 6 p.m. You were 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. You were working the whole time and getting the training, and that was every day, Monday through Friday. I was getting my agent salary at that point, but yeah, man, it sucked. And you lived on base. You had to live on base. It was mandatory. So yeah. So I was there. I left August 24th, 2014, one of the happiest days of my life, by the way. I was like, thank God, get me the fuck up out of here. And I went to my first duty location in Laredo, Texas, guys. Okay. And just so you guys could see here, some of y'all might be wondering, Myron, where the fuck is Laredo, Texas? I will show you, my friends. All right. And I will never take these 4 years back. This was a great time of my life. Yeah, I didn't do anything. I was very bored and, well, not bored because I was always working. I was always busy. But this is Laredo, Texas right here, guys. Right? It's literally right on the Mexican border. Open in maps. All right. It's in Webb County, Texas. And if I zoom out, y'all can see it's right here where this red is. Right? And it's right across from Nuevo Laredo. Now, this place is super fucking dangerous, Nuevo Laredo, bro. This is the home base for the Los Zetas, or now I think they call themselves Cartel del Noreste, right? And this is where I spent from 24 to 28 years old, and this is where I started my career. This made me become a man, actually, to be honest with y'all. I was living on a freaking mattress on the floor. I mean, I was making good money. I started making like 70K, 60K, somewhere around there. My first year or two here, and it's not that expensive to live here, so I was doing fine. But I was living way below my means. I had a TV like on the floor, I had a mattress on the floor, I was just chilling. Wasn't getting chicks like that. There weren't that many hot girls here to begin with, to be honest with y'all. There was like no bitches here. I'm gonna be all the way 1,000 with y'all. And Mexico has Texas in general, South Texas has some of the fattest people in America. So anyway, and then you got Interstate Highway 35, but this was a busy place, guys. I was working all the time, man. And our headquarters here was 109 Shiloh Drive. Right? This was the main building, right? Where I was headquartered. Now, I personally didn't sit at this building. I actually sat at an offsite, which I'm not going to show you guys. But this is the official address, but I sat at another building because we have at the time we have like when I was there we had around 60 to 70 agents, but we could hold up to 100. This is a big field office for HSI is Laredo, Texas, because you're right on the border, right? And when you're on the border, guys, HSI basically, and I could go over this real quick. Let's go ahead and go to their website real fast. What HSI does, okay? Some of y'all might be like, what is HSI, bro? What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about, Myron? All right, we'll go to the wiki because it's easier. Right. So you got Immigration Customs Enforcement, right? And then you also got HSI underneath ICE, right? So it's a federal law enforcement agency under the Department of Homeland Security. Its stated mission is to protect the United States from cross-border crime and illegal immigration that threaten national security and public safety. So it's executed through the enforcement of more than 500 federal statutes and focuses on customs violation, immigration enforcement, preventing terrorism, combating the illegal movement of people and goods. So basically, guys, anything that has an international nexus, we could touch, right? And little fun fact, HSI actually has more enforces more statutes than even the FBI. We have the broadest authority in the United States government. And then you also have ERO. So we're not going to talk about ERO, guys, because ERO is the other half of ICE. And they deal with the removal of undocumented aliens from the United States. That's what they specifically deal. They only deal with the immigration portion. They don't deal with no criminal investigations. Okay. HSI, well, they do criminal investigations only if it's like, an illegal reentry, small stuff like that. But in general, it's HSI that is the primary criminal investigator / special agent. So ERO, enforcement removal operations, they are. And this is what their badge looks like. It says ICE and an officer, and then Homeland Security Investigation says special agent. ICE deals with the immigration side. HSI deals with immigration, customs, everything, and they deal with the more criminal stuff. So to give you an example, ICE ERO might do something like, hey, this guy's been deported before, 8 USC 1326, which is an illegal reentry. That's technically a crime. ERO might do something like that, whereas like HSI will do, if you got like visa fraud, passport fraud, any of that other stuff, we're going to deal with that because that's going to be a little bit more complex, right? Especially when you're talking about criminal organizations, etc. But if it's just a simple reentry, you've been deported before and you're back, ERO will take a lot of those because it's not worth our time, right? So But those are the two umbrellas that HSI under. So anyway, let me take a break here for chats real fast before we get into this. Let's see here. And guys, the link works now if you want to donate to the show. We got here. Okay. CGM goes, hey, Myron, sorry to get off topic, but tips for bulking up. I've been in the gym for 4 to 5 years with little results. I eat a calorie surplus, have high T, get plenty of sleep, but it's hard for me to gain muscle. 5'5", 145 pounds, 22 years old. That means you're not eating in a calorie surplus like you think, bro. If you're not gaining weight, then you simply aren't eating in a calorie surplus. So then you need to eat more than you think you need to. You might have a faster metabolism than you think. You might be miscalculating your calories, but it's very simple when it comes to calories because it's just not, calories in versus calories out and putting yourself in a surplus. If you put yourself in a surplus, you're going to gain weight. So just make sure you put yourself, 300 to 500. So I would say if you're not gaining weight, bump yourself up another 200 calories and go from there. Taj the Beast goes, what's your opinion on sponsoring yourself through the police academy? How much of a percentage would you say I gain of being hired by a department? P.S. Shout out Big Mo. What's good? That's really rare though. You sponsoring yourself through a police department, because that tells me that you probably live in a rural area where like police departments might not have the money to put you through an academy. So you sponsor yourself and then try to, get your police certification. You could do that if you want. But just make sure that you're going to pass the background check and everything else like that. So nothing wrong with that. But that's not very common. You probably live on a boony somewhere, bro. We got here, whose mans goes, sup guys. I'm going to try to get into the call-in show next time to talk about my cousin who is a massive simp. He went on a date, blacked out, got his ass beat by 2 guys. His date ended up leaving with those 2 guys. Wow. Shout out to FNF and the L Dingleberries. Bro, I mean, if your cousin isn't RP aware from that, then I don't know what to say, bro. That's a L, man. Holy wow. Oh, wow. Oh shit. That is hold on. Do I got a sound effect for that one? Yeah. Damn. Nura goes, I became a U.S. citizen a few months ago and have my naturalization certificate, but I haven't applied for the U.S. passport. I'm currently in my home country and need to return to the U.S. Can I use my naturalization certificate to enter? How it works? Yeah, you can. You can use your natural. I mean, they don't like that, but you can. It's frowned upon, but you definitely can, because they can't deny you entry in the United States if you are a U.S. citizen. I remember when I was at the border in Laredo, and people would be crossing in every day. Some people would bring their birth certificate and give that to the CBP officer. So yeah, your naturalization certificate will work to enter, but they just won't like that. This might take you a little bit longer. They're probably going to have to do some records checks and everything else like that to make sure that it's really you, but it will work. Just try to get your passport, bro, because it's going to be very cumbersome for you to do that every single time, and you're not going to make the CBP officers happy. So, because you just want to get it done and get out of there. And then let's see here. I'll look at some of these Rumble rants. Shout out to all you ninjas, by the way, that are supporting the show. Like I said before, we are demonetized, so we really appreciate the love. Let me see here. Let me make sure that we give love to our ninjas over here. And we got 2,000. We got about almost 1,000 y'all watching over on Rumble, and then another 1,100 or so on YouTube. Someone said Myron doesn't know how to bulk. He overtrains. No, my friend, I do know how to bulk. I actually got fat on purpose. I went up like 50 pounds overweight. So I don't overtrain, my friend. There's no such thing as overtraining. It's very difficult to do that. You have to really put yourself into the pain cave to overtrain. It's not as easy as you guys think it is. You can overreach, but overtraining, nah, man. Okay, I won't show the thing. God damn it. I don't know why the chats aren't showing on Rumble Rants. Anyway, excuse me. So where were we? Okay, so I was in Laredo, Texas, right? And I was in a so when I get to Laredo, Texas, right? My first duty station, it was my first duty station, but my first group that I get assigned to was called the Human Trafficking / Human Smuggling Group. Okay. And what that's like, guys, is what you would call a duty response group. Now you're probably wondering, Myron, what the hell is a duty response group? So when you're on the border, guys, okay, there's constantly cases going on. They're trying to smuggle illegal aliens in. They're trying to smuggle drugs in. They're trying to smuggle money out. They're trying to smuggle guns out. So there's always stuff going on because, like I said before, HSI is the premier agency that deals with anything that has an international nexus, right? So you're constantly getting calls for different types of things. At the time, when I was there in the Laredo, we had 10 groups. We had 3 human smuggling groups. Yes, I said it. 3 human smuggling groups. We had like 3 drug groups. We had a border enforcement security task force. So that's 7. We had a commercial fraud group. That's 8. We had a child pornography group. That's 9. And then we had a money group, right? Financial crimes group, which was 10, right? Each group has about 6 to 10 agents and 1 group supervisor, okay? When I got there in 2014, they were severely understaffed. We had maybe 60 agents, right? So you had 10 groups, 60 agents. Each group had maybe 4 to 5 guys, right? And then like the bigger response groups, they would have maybe 7 to 10, right? So in my group, when I got there, we had like 7 to 10 guys, right? And I was in human smuggling group 2. I'll never forget, group 2, right? Which was kind of a legendary group. Jaime Zapata, rest in peace to him, was actually in that group at one point. So when I got there, guys, right, and I was in a human smuggling group, it was the busiest group in the office. It was the busiest group in the busiest office in the busiest AOR. Now you're probably, whoa, Myron, what the fuck are you talking about with these acronyms? Okay, so real quick, so you guys understand. So San Antonio is the main field office location, right? You call it SAC San Antonio. That main office has several satellite offices within it, okay? So there's San Antonio, there's Laredo, there's McAllen, there's Harlingen, Brownsville, Del Rio, etc. All these little towns, and I'll show you real quick here on the border. Right? Share screen with y'all real fast. Right? Because I think it's better if I show you than just like, so you open the maps, right? So all these towns from here, basically, so here's San Antonio right here, right? You got Uvalde, we had an office there. You had Del Rio, Carrizo Springs, right? Laredo, and then you go down all the way here into the Valley area, Zapata, Rio Grande City, Reynosa, which this is right here, McAllen, right? McAllen's pretty nice, actually. Probably one of the nicer border towns. Brownsville, all this, right? All of this was under the HSI San Antonio field office, right? Or like it was under their AOR or area of responsibility, right? And then you had smaller field offices in between. So Laredo, so San Antonio is the biggest SAC. It's the busiest SAC in the country. I think Puerto Rico is number 2. San Antonio has the most arrests, most seizures, etc. Right? The busiest office in San Antonio was Laredo, and the busiest group in Laredo was Group 2, which is where your boy Myron was at. Right? So I was in the busiest group, in the busiest office, in the busiest goddamn AOR. Right? So, what a day in the life was for me, right, guys, when I was there, was I'll wake up, right? A lot of the times like 10 or 11 in the morning, right? Maybe 9, 10 in the morning. I'd get to the office by 10 or 11, maybe around lunchtime, right? And, I'd be writing reports. If someone needed help with something, whether it was another group, they were going to do an arrest, right? The child pornography group used to call me all the time because they were doing search warrants and arrests all the time, man. It's actually kind of scary how often the child porn group was out. They were out arresting people every day, doing search warrants every day. There's a lot of freaking pedophiles out there, man. It is crazy. And this is any HSI office that you go to in the country. They're always busy, which tells you that there's a real problem with these fucking predators. But I digress. So, maybe one day I could walk in and the child pornography group was doing a search warrant. They want me to help them out. I'd call my supervisor, hey, CP group needs help. I was going to go help them. Yeah, go for it. Because the only thing with your soup is you just want to let them know where you're at, right? God forbid you get in a shooting or you do anything, that he knows where you're at, right? And he can let upper management know. So, but the job has a lot of freedom. You get a take-home car. You could come and leave when you want, right? Just get your work done, etc. You'll be fine. So So I'd get into the office, right? Somewhere between 10 to 12. Write reports, whatever, get some Chipotle with the bros, chat it up, right? A lot of the agents that I worked with were younger guys because everyone starts their career on the Southwest border most of the time when you come in with HSI. You're going to start, whether if it's in Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Southern California, you're typically going to start your career on the border somewhere with HSI. And I think that's actually better because you get a lot of fucking experience so that when they do transfer you to an interior field office, like a Miami, like I did, or to a New York City, etc., you're going to be fine. You're going to be able to hit the ground running because you know everything, right? You already know how to write reports. You know how to deal with informants. You know all that crap because you already did it on the border, right? So, and I told you guys before that I was in a duty response group, right? And what that basically means, guys, is since you're on the border, you're on call and they're going to absolutely call you. Why? Well, because you got Customs and Border Protection there and you got Border Patrol in force. We're talking about thousands of Border Patrol agents, thousands of Border Patrol officers, Customs and Border Protection officers. And just so you guys understand, Border Patrol, green uniform, Customs and Border Protection, blue uniform, right? Border Patrol is, dealing with all the areas that people shouldn't be coming into the United States through, all right? And then Customs and Border Protection is blue uniform. They're dealing with all the ports that you should be coming through. So whether you're crossing a bridge into the United States from Mexico or you're coming in through an airport and you're giving your passport to be admitted into the United States, blue uniform, good. Green uniform, you're trying to sneak in, nigga. They're going to arrest you. So, so you guys get the idea, right? So anytime Border Patrol would catch a smuggler with 10 aliens or, with a couple of undocumented aliens, they would call HSI. It was a mandate that they would call HSI to come in and further the investigation because every human smuggling situation or human trafficking always is tied to a criminal organization. It's by no mistake that people come to the United States and are able to be smuggled in, guys. There are sophisticated smuggling networks that allow these migrants to enter the United States. And there's facilitators at every step of the road, right? So going back to the map here, right? And I'll give you an example, right? Let's say someone wants to come to the United States illegally, right? What they'll do a lot of the times is, let's say they're from Guatemala, right? And they want to come here or anywhere else in South America, right? What they'll do is they'll pay money to a local smuggler in their area. All right. And I'm going to explain to you guys exactly this is how human smuggling works for most situations, regardless of the country that you're coming from. So let's say I'm an illegal alien in Guatemala. I don't want to come to the United States, right? So I'm going to have a local smuggler in my area that has a Mexican connect. I'm going to call him and say, yo, I want to go to the United States. How do I get there? All right, cool. Let me call my Mexican people, make arrangements for you, right? And get you into Mexico so that you can go ahead and get into the United States. So you pay that guy a couple $1,000s, right? He successfully smuggles you into Mexico, and then you go into your next leg of the trip, right? A big staging area is Mexico City. Holy. A lot of the smugglers are based in Mexico City. Why? Because what they'll do is they'll receive all the migrants from other countries here, whether it's freaking Guatemala, Honduras, hell, even like China, because they be coming in from China all the time, right? They'll fly over. A lot of times they'll fly over right into Mexico City, right? So once they get to Mexico City, now they're in the second part of the trip where that guy will hold them there. They come up until they come up with the money. They'll be staged there for a couple of weeks or whatever, and then they'll move them to maybe like a San Luis Potosi right here, right? And then from here they'll wait another few weeks, and then they'll be moved north. Right? Maybe they might make one more stop along the way, but typically then they're going to be moved to a border town, whether it's Nuevo Laredo, Piedras Negras, whatever the fuck, Reynosa, Matamoros. And the reason why is because there's a big border on the other side here, okay? Because whether it's Laredo, McAllen, Harlingen, Brownsville, etc., right? It depends on the smuggling organization. But the point is that they're smuggling the aliens into Mexico, they stage in Mexico, then they get them to the border. Now, when they get to the border, guys, this is the most important part. They stash them as stash houses right on the river or right on the border, right? And typically they'll wait until it's clear and they'll be like, all right, we're going to move 10 across, 20 across, 50 across, whatever it may be, right? And they'll move them at night and there'll be typically a car waiting for them on the other side. So as soon as they cross into the United States, now it's go time. They got to freaking get in a vehicle and get out of the brush immediately. Or they'll walk to a stash house. And the reason why is because they need to get them into the stash house so they don't get caught by Border Patrol. Because now it's starting to get hot, right, once they enter the United States. They enter, they wait at the stash house, and then once they're at the stash house, this is the most critical moment because while they're in the stash house, they're the most vulnerable, right? Someone could snitch. I remember I raided a bunch of stash houses. We have 100 plus of them in there, etc. So they want to get these guys out of there as soon as possible. But at the same time, they need to be paid because the stash house operator in Laredo, in Rio Grande City, in Zapata, McAllen, whatever, they're taking a lot of risk allowing these guys to stay there. And one of the clues a lot of times we would know as a stash house was you would look at when you go to do surveillance, you would see a lot of trash and their stuff because they got to feed these guys. If you see a lot of trash or whatever, and you're like, what the fuck? Only 2 people are supposed to live at this address. But you see that there's like constantly throwing trash. There's a bunch of food, all this other crap. You know that they got a bunch of aliens there because they got to feed them. Right? That's evidence. So anyway, they have them here staged, and then a lot of times they pay their last portion, their last 5, 10K, whatever it may cost, and then they get smuggled to San Antonio. All right? San Antonio is the main hub where a lot of these illegal aliens go. And then from San Antonio, as you guys can see, you got Interstate Highway 10, you got Interstate Highway 35. You could go anywhere in the United States. Excuse me. You can go anywhere in the United States from here, right? Because Interstate Highway 10, guys, takes you all the way to Jacksonville, right? Or it could take you all the way to Los Angeles, right? Interstate Highway 10. Right? Or you could go north and south, right? Interstate Highway 35, right? Takes you all the way to, I think it takes you to freaking somewhere here in the Midwest. Damn it. I lost the highway. All right, here's 35 right here. It takes you all the way to Minneapolis. All right, Duluth, which is pretty much, yeah, right there on the Canadian border, right? Yeah, so it takes you right here to Denfield, Lincoln Park. So I'm pretty sure this is Canada right here. Yeah. So yeah, it'll get you all the way up to Canada pretty much, right? Or right on the border, so to speak. So the point is, guys, is that this is a very lucrative business. It's a very structured business. It's a very big business, okay? And it involves many people. Anytime you're smuggling illegal aliens, we're talking about 7, 8, 9 legs of the trip and different people involved in this criminal organization to make this shit happen because it is very labor intensive, guys, to move illegal aliens. Extremely labor intensive. You got to feed them, you got to move them, you got to house them, etc. Okay? So, but it's very lucrative. You make a lot of money. And if you're arrested for it, you don't do as much time as having drugs. Right? So I say all that to say this. We would get calls all the time, guys. All right. We get calls all the time when people get caught by Border Patrol, and we would go ahead and we would respond. So if Border Patrol catches somebody, right? So like I'll give you guys an example here. So I told y'all that I was in Laredo, right? So let's go ahead and put Laredo South Border Patrol, right? So this right here is the Border Patrol station, right? That I would respond to all the time. This is the most busy Border Patrol station in Laredo, right? So I remember vividly, it'd be like 2, 3 in the morning. My ass would be driving here from home, come in, and then they'd have like, 20, 50 illegal aliens and like 1 driver, aka the principal, or 2 drivers, right? There'd be U.S. citizens. They were the ones driving the guys. And a lot of times they were driving them to or from a stash house, and they got caught by Border Patrol, right? Border Patrol did a traffic stop, caught them, and then they arrest them, and then they bring them in here, and then I come in and I follow up with the investigation. And then I interview the guy. Hey, where are these aliens supposed to go? They're supposed to go to San Antonio, etc. And they'd be like, okay, they'd confess, or maybe they'd cooperate, and then I'd arrest them and I'd take them to court the next day, or I'd take them to the Webb County Jail, right? I'll take them here. Man, this brings back a lot of memories. Webb County Jail. Bring them right here. Right? I'd come in through this area right here. So yeah, I'd come in, I'd make a turn right here. Drop them off here. I'd park my car right here. You gotta say who you are, blah, blah, blah. You bring your car in, and then you drop them off here at the jail. This is the actual jail, right? And then when it was time to for court, I'd take them here. And the marshals, we had an agreement with the marshals where the marshals would bring the prisoners over for us. So Laredo Federal Courthouse. Yeah, this is the courthouse. Oh man, this brings back memories. Woo! Holy. All right. Let me see here. So this is the federal courthouse in Laredo, right? See, it's really nice. Federal courthouse is always nice, but it's in the fucking hood, as y'all can see here. Oh, god damn, man, right? And it's funny because this is like right next to the border. So yeah, I remember I always park my car right here. I'll put the placard up so they don't give me a ticket. I'll park it right here every time, man. Come in, park that joint right here, right? And then I walk around. I'd take this path right here and walk around the front. And then I would enter in the side because I right here. There's an entrance right here. Right. And just to give you guys an idea, look at this shit. Look at this, man. So that's a federal courthouse, right? Taking you on a trip through Laredo, Texas, right? That's where I spent a good portion of my adult life. All right, we're going down the street here, right? This is going to take you to the main road. All right? So, you know, the federal courthouse is all the way down the street there. Y'all want to see how fucking close Mexico is? Look at this. This is the bridges, right? To go to Mexico. You go down this street right here. Oh yeah, Casa de Cambio. These are money laundering fucking areas right here. These types of things. I remember this sign right here. Illegal to carry firearms and ammunition in Mexico. Penalty prison by Mexican law. So they put this there so that people know, like, yo, you better not bring no goddamn guns across, even though it's one of the most violent places. And then bam, here is where the bridge is. That's how close we are to the Mexican border, bro. This is not even a mile, guys. Not even a fucking mile, right? So this, and I've made this mistake where I'm like, oh shit, I'm in the wrong lane. I'm not trying to go to Mexico, and I gotta like fucking turn off and shit. Because what I really meant to do was go down this street right here, right? So you come around this street right here, and then you can see here's the bridge, right? And then bam, it's a little gate right here. And there's Mexico right there, my friends. There's the bridge right there, right? This bridge right here. Oh, no, keep going. What the fuck? But y'all can see it. This is all Mexico right here. Literally, you cross over the river, and that's all Mexico. That's how close it was, guys. Could throw a rock over that bitch. Right? And you're right here. But that's how close the federal courthouse was. Right? So I would drop the guy off at the federal courthouse after. I'd go for his initial appearance. And that's how it would go, guys. That's how the duty calls would go. And you're on call. I was on call every third day. Someone in my group was on call. So the way it worked was, so there was 3 human smuggling groups. You'd be on duty, right? Your group would be on duty for 24 hours. And then it would switch to the next group. Then it would switch to the next group. So every other day, your group was on duty. And the reason why it was a big deal is because, like I told y'all before, they would catch 10, 11, 12 aliens, whatever. And there'd be multiple times they'd catch multiple cases in one day. So let's say your buddy, right? Let's say Tom in your group is on duty. He's the one that's actually getting called. He goes to deal with the case at the Laredo Border Patrol Station South. There might be another case in Hebronville, which is an hour away. You got to go deal with that while he's at the station dealing with that one. And then you're going to go probably take that case, right? So even though only one person's on duty technically via phone, the whole group's on duty because it's very labor intensive to investigate these cases because you got to go there. There's 10 people you got to interview. You need other agents to help you do each interview. And then you got to go through extensively with each alien. Hey, what's your name? Where are you from? Where did you come from? How much did you pay to come to the United States? How much did you pay the smuggler? Tell us your trip, how you came from such and such country to here. You got to get this with each and every single person, right? And get their story. And the reason why you got to get their story is that they're going to go ahead and let you know who the principal was, the driver, and you'll give them a photo array. Hey, who's the driver? A lot of the times it's the fucking guy that was there in the station with them. Yeah, this is him, to identify him. You take two of them as material witnesses, right? And then you do your case. And you would do this every day, man. So you were getting these bag and tag, what we call bag and tag cases, where Border Patrol or Customs or whatever are calling you, and you go ahead and you deal with it. And that's what I did for 4 years on the Mexican border, guys, when in my human smuggling, human trafficking group. Now, with that said, I had my duty cases, right, where I was on call and I handled those. Then I also had what you call proactive cases, where I was actively investigating on my own, where I had informants, I had a drug investigation, etc. Even though I was in a human trafficking, human smuggling group, I still did drug and gun cases, right? I got special permission from my office, because even though I was a human smuggling, human trafficking group, I should have been just focusing on that. I was just a go-getter. So they were like, nah, man, you do whatever you want. Like, you're out here like fucking, killing it. Like, you go ahead, you could do drug cases. So I was like the only agent in the immigration groups that had Title 21, what's called Title 21 authority. And Title 21 is the drug statutes federally. So I did drug cases as a guy in a human smuggling group. So that's what the day in the life was like when I was there, man. But every day was different. One day I could be debriefing an informant, dealing with a duty case, helping out the child porn group with arresting someone or doing a search warrant. I could be driving to San Antonio to get a search warrant. It was really fun, man. It was really fun, really interesting, man. Even just thinking about it right now, it makes me reminisce, and it was great. It was so much fucking fun. And it doesn't take much to make me happy, man, as you guys know. And I think it's not about what you have, it's about how little does it take to make you happy. I think that's the true sign of being satisfied. If it takes a lot for you to be happy, like you might want to reassess yourself, right? Because you're never going to have everything. So you might as well learn to be happy with little. I was sleeping on a fucking mattress, making $70K a year, $50K a year, right? Like my first couple years. And I was happy as fuck. I didn't start making six figures, guys, until my last year in Laredo. I didn't make six figures until around 2018, 2017. So it was a lot of fun. Let me see here if I can hit some of these chats, if you guys got any questions. Happy New Year's, crew. And that's from Ken Rose. Thank you so much. That's why I figured I'd do this episode for you guys, right? Give you guys a little insight as to what it was like. All right, so I'll hit the StreamLabs. Let's see here what you guys got. And then we got to get going for this IRL stream here pretty soon. Okay. We got the last one I did here. Okay. We got sorry guys, I was just reading through. Kanawi goes, watch your Fed vid. I was interested in applying to a 3-letter agency. Apparently, the feds have methods to entice young Muslims to incriminate themselves for T activity. HV, have you seen or experienced this? Also, what's the best path for cybersecurity? Bro, just don't be a terrorist. You'll be fine. Do you have to take a polygraph when you apply to HSI? And what did you think about it? It's David Effectiveness. So when I got hired by HSI, you didn't have to do polygraphs. And there's a long story for that. If you want me to explain it, give me ones in the chat. But now they do. Now they do. So, but when I came on, I didn't have to. Kanawi goes, watch your Fed vid. I was interesting. Oh, no, got that one. You asked twice. Mass Archive goes, great content, FNF. I recently got promoted to GS11, thinking about the feasibility of transferring from civil service to law enforcement. Do they have any student loan repayment options? Sent this on Rumble. I don't know if they do now. I know that there's a student loan forgiveness program where if you make on-time payments for 10 years, you can get your loan repaid that way. You need 360 qualifying payments, which should equate to 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. and they'll wipe off the rest of your debt. But you got to do the math. It might not make sense because, like, you know, if you do the 10 years and you're still like in debt, or sorry, if you do the 10 years and that would have paid it off, then it might not make sense to do it that way. It might be better to just pay it off and not pay the interest. Does that make sense? So you have to have a certain amount of debt for it to actually be worth it. Okay. And then Ralph goes, hey, Myron, what non-degree federal law enforcement agencies would you recommend to join? If you want to be a special agent, most of them are going to want a degree. But yeah, but non-degree, I would say you're probably going to have to go ahead and go with a uniform position, which, you know, Border Patrol, Customs and Border Protection, Customs and Border Protection Officer, or Border Patrol. Those are all fantastic segues in. When is the Friday after hours dinner vid coming out? How's your day going? And that's from Whitler. Sorry about that, guys. We didn't have. So what ended up happening? We're supposed to do an IRL stream with you guys, as you know, on Friday. We couldn't do it, guys, because we didn't have a certain battery to power the camera. Right? We had a dummy battery, but we couldn't plug it in, so we didn't have like the disposable batteries that you could put on the side. So sorry about that. That's what ended up happening there. Hey, Myron, have you ever interviewed Mexican Special Force soldier? There's a Mexican YouTuber by the name is Gafe432 who would have some good stories. Okay. And that's from Fernando. And then Jay Garcia goes, ATF fumble Operation Fast and Furious. They absolutely did. I'll tell you all that. And I will do Fast and Furious on here. Don't worry. Falcon Punch goes, why don't Mexicans go to Canada if they can enter Canada without a visa instead of the USA? And many citizens of the Caribbean and Latin America have good passports to enter Europe, United Kingdom, Japan, Korea, New Zealand, etc. without a visa. That's a good question, bro. I don't know why they don't. I mean, there's clearly Mexicans in Canada, but they have to get to the United States first. So if they're going to drive, at least. So that's why. Yo, Billz Mo, what are we looking like? We got to leave now? We got to leave? Okay, so the IRL backpack is good? Guys, we will be doing an IRL stream.
We can do it.
Okay.
Sound might be a little tricky as far
Sound?
as like gating and shit, but it sounds great. It sounds
All right.
great.
I'm talking about Billz and Mo right now, guys. We're going to be doing an IRL stream. They came and set up the backpack that we got. You guys want to say what's up to the people?
Oh yeah, we got to show the gift. Grab that right there. It's on the other chair.
What?
The right there, that controller right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So them on stream.
Yeah, these guys got me a Xbox controller, as y'all can see here, with the American flag and shit like that. So I appreciate that, because this is the controller I was using before.
Yeah. Oh.
This is the controller I was using before, right? Playing this. So now, damn, Mo.
You know Mo big, bro.
Yeah, nigga big as hell, man. Fresh just called me. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to kill the stream here in a second. Yeah, we got to get out of here.
I was able to fit in that tight spot though.
But yeah, show him that controller.
Pretty nice, man. It has these things, but just so y'all know, I've been practicing mouse and keyboard. So they got me this controller, and I'm like, wait, how am I gonna use this? Because it's like,
you still gonna. I know you're still gonna use it though, bro. Because you're gonna get all frustrated. And be like, man, hold on, let me get this controller.
Probably, yeah. So yeah.
WFED reaction.
Yeah,
but you guys.
But yeah, guys, I guess I have to do a part 2 on this story about my experiences in the Miami field office. But that summarizes my journey in Laredo. But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Next week, what I'll do is I'll finish up part 2 of what's it like to be a special agent in the Miami field office, and then I'll answer your questions as well. I'll do a whole Q&A portion. And then we'll cover some serial killer stuff with Angie. So yeah. Someone said Myron's an Xbox guy. Hey man, I'm an Xbox guy, yeah, but I'm gonna go to mouse and keyboard, bro, very soon. And then we got here last one, the engineer. This is the engineer child from Friday's Call-In. Just wants to pop in and say thank you for everything before I go for a run. Thanks for everything, man. You're the best. Thank you so much, my friend. I'm glad that you're going for a run before New Year's. Guys, I love y'all. I'm gonna dip out. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Fed Reacts. A little bit more intimate pause, just us. Hopefully, I'm gonna have this thing more decorated and finished. But not bad. This is a new studio and everything else like that. I'll do an Instagram video too and show you guys what it looks like in here. And also, we're gonna be streaming Overwatch soon. Don't worry. I might even do it tonight. I just got to figure out how I'm going to do it though, because Bill's got to set up StreamLabs for me on here. So that I can actually do it. Cause I think if I do it on StreamYard, it's going to lag, right?
No, we gotta do it on.
If I share screen,
We gotta do it on StreamLabs.
StreamLabs, right? Because that's specifically made for gaming anyway, so that it doesn't lag and all that weirdo shit.
It'll be way easier.
Yeah, because if I try to screen share with you guys, because I tested already, it looks weird when I share screen playing games. Yeah, so but you guys will be able to see me destroy some scrubs. What was that? Okay, I'm clicking right now on Rumble. JC Van goes, hey bro, when are you breaking up Europa? Breaking down to Europa? Please break it down on Rumble. God bless you.
And watch the.
I'll think about it, bro, because that documentary, I don't even think it's on Rumble anymore.
And watch the name on this song, the one before this.
And then someone said, Nick Kerr said, I got in here late. I don't know if you heard about Chris Jericho. He's facing accusations.
I heard about it.
Man, you know it's cap.
It is.
Happy New Year's crew. That's Ken Rose. Yeah, man, they be capping, bro. Chris Jericho ain't assaulting none of these hoes, man. Put that bitch in the walls of Jericho.
The wrestling community already forgave him.
They already forgave him, right?
Yeah,
man, they know what's up. All right, guys. So stay tuned. IRL stream coming live on Fresh and Fit on YouTube and Rumble. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Fed Reacts. A little bit different. Just solo me, and I'm gonna bring back the solo streams, guys. It's just that I have to get Billz to set me up because I don't want to drag these guys every Sunday too down here. But all right, man. Love y'all. Catch you guys. Peace. We'll be back on Monday for Money Monday tomorrow. I might have a special guest for y'all. Might be fitness related. We'll see what happens. Love you. Peace, guys.